What is up po mga kababayan? Strike 2 na po itong reporter ng One News na si Regina Lee dito sa mga naging guest niya po kasi itong bastos na reporter na to mga kaibigan kung maaalala nyo 2 days ago in-interview niya rin po si Attorney Levy Baligod, yung po spokesperson, yung attorney po nung 18 na ex-marines na lumantad naging bastos din kasi itong reporter na to doon sa interview na yun nauna na po siyang sinagot ni Attorney Levy Baligod. Mamaya papanoorin natin yan, ito yan mga kaibigan. Pero dito sa video na ating papanoorin ngayon itong si Greco Belgica sinagot niya po itong babaeng to na di umano sabi ni Sir Greco di ba ini-interview mo ba ako o hindi? Interview ba to o debate? Kasi ang nangyari hindi na po pinapatapos ng bastos na reporter na ito yung mga pahayag ni Sir Greco. Kapag ayaw nung reporter yung sagot ni Sir Greco, kinakat niya po si Sir Greco to the point na hindi na po na ni Sir Greco napigilan at nasabi niya na po yung mga mamaya mga kaibigan maririnig niyan. Pero bago ang lahat, this is Page Gen Z po, ang boses ng Gen Z sa mga isyong pampolitika dito sa ating bansa. Huwag niyo po kalimutan mag-iwan ng like sa ating video at maging subscribe sa ating channel para mas maging updated kayo sa mga may init na balita tulad nito. Ayan mga kaibigan, Congressman Pulong inakusahan ng ICC na incompetent at nagpe-pretend na bulag dito sa hearing ni Tatay Diggs dyan sa ICC The Hague. Ayan mga kaibigan, alata naman kasi mga kaibigan, kumpleto na hindi nga sapat yung mga ebidensya ng prosecution maging nina Butuyan. Hindi nga kumpleto mga ebidensya ng mga yun Ang sinasabi na libo-libo na mga kaso ng pagpatay dahil sa war on drugs. Pero ang meron lang sila na ebidensya na inilatag kulang 100 lang. Sasabihin nila libo-libo, hundreds of thousands ang mga napas lang dahil dyan sa laban kontra droga na campaign ni Tatay Diggs. Kaya itong si Kong Pulong gets natin siya at valid na kanyang punto at sinabi na nagbubulag-bulagan itong mga ICC judges. Samantala mga kaibigan, bago natin panoorin si Sir Greco, panoorin naman natin itong si Attorney Levy Baligod regarding nga po doon sa pagsagot niya at pagsupalpal dito sa bastos na reporter na ito mga kaibigan.
It sounds like a lot of this information that you're holding on to is second-hand and third-hand in some cases. Can I just ask what is your motivation here? Because all of a sudden, you hold this press conference alleging serious wrongdoing. We've yet to see some evidence, and I'm also just wondering what was your original motivation here? You said you only met the 18 gentlemen in October of last year and started building this case. So paano po kayo nasama dito?
You know, ma'am, you cannot label the information they have as second-hand or third-hand.
No, your information is second-hand. Kasi we were asking you about...
witnesses po sila.
Yes, no? But they only told you. Wala ka naman talaga doon, right? That's the definition of second-hand, sir.
Alam niya lahat
You weren't there.
I did not execute the affidavit. They were the ones who execute the affidavit.
Correct. Yes, they executed. Then they told you about all of these things. So your information is second-hand, not their information. So that's what I was asking you. What is your involvement here?
I think you misunderstood the rules on evidence, ma'am. But nevertheless,
What do I not understand about the rules of evidence?
Marami kang hindi alam, ma'am. Mukhang marami
What do
kang
I not
hindi
understand
alam.
about the rules of evidence?
For describing their statement or my statement as second-hand.
It's not second-hand. You weren't there, right? As you said, you yourself said you weren't there when all of these things were going on, when they were withdrawing the money, giving the money to somebody else. They were all told to you.
Do you know the meaning of independently relevant statement?
Okay, so that's what I'm also trying to get at. What is your involvement here?
Hindi
Bakit
mo
kayo
kasi
nasama
alam yung
dito?
sagot. Tinatanong ka ngayon ng
You're
isang
not a
abogado na nag-aral ng batas, tapos ngayong nagmamarunong ka, hindi mo naman masagot itong tanong ng isang abogado. Feeling abogado ka kasi, hindi mo naman kasi alam yung batas, nakikialam ka. Ngayong tinanong ka ng patungkol sa batas, wala ka namang masagot.
Prosecutor, you're not... Are you a lawyer for some of these Marines?
Alam nyo, ma'am, bilang isang Pilipino, meron akong obligasyon na mahanap natin ang katotohanan at katarungan dito sa pagnanakaw ng pera sa kabayad ng bayan.
You don't have to tell me that. We are also trying to get to the bottom of things. Kami din.
You asked about my motivation, no? Alam niyo po, noong 2013, ang advocacy ko ay anti-corruption at ako ang nag-expose sa PDAP scam. And Ben Harluy was one of my witnesses. Kinasuhan ko ang 14 na senador, 198 na congressmen at limang cabinet secretaries.
Okay, yeah.
Pangalawa, yung mga pag-aabuso ni Teves sa Negros. Halos 1 taon po akong pabalik-balik sa Negros kasi walang matakbuhan ang mga biktima ng patayan doon. Ngayon po, nakita ko kung paano trinato si Gutesa. At meron akong obligasyon na tumulong para malaman natin ang katotohanan. You ask about my motive, that is my motive.
I don't
Gusto
understand.
kong makaambag sa paghahanap ng katarungan.
I don't understand.
You don't understand kasi pinipilit nyo po yung inyong mismong opinion. Nagtatanong ka sa isang tao, ayaw mo namang pakinggan at ayaw mo makinig sa kanyang sariling side. O ngayon hindi mo maintindihan kasi hindi ka marunong makinig. Kasi alam nyo mga kaibigan, simple lang, para ikaw ay makaintindi, kailangan mo gumamit ng iyong tenga at makinig. Hindi po bibig yung ginagamit para makinig. Tenga po, itong babaeng to, kaya hindi mo maintindihan kasi hindi ka nakikinig. O mga kaibigan, masyado nang mahaba ang intro natin. Rakta na po tayo ngayon dito sa video ni Sir Greco Belgi.
Joining us right now is former chairman of the Presidential Anti-Corruption Commissioner, PAOK, Greco Bellica. Good evening to you, sir.
Hi, good evening, ma'am, and good evening to all our viewers and listener. It's PACC, ma'am, not PAOK. I'm
Ay,
sorry.
oo nga pala, sorry. Sorry, I'm thinking of a different PAOK.
Yeah.
Yung
Yeah.
PAOK yung nag-investigate ng Pogos. PACC, I'm sorry. Sir, are you attorney? Are you a lawyer?
No.
Okay, I was
No,
about to
no.
call you attorney Bellica, pero it's not.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Ba't kailangan pang tanungin nitong babaeng to kung attorney ba itong si Sir Belhica o hindi? Ano bang problema mo kung attorney siya o hindi? Kasi maaari naman siya magkamali. Katulad nung kanina, nagkamali siya, no? PAOK, tsaka yung PACC. Nagkamali na siya. Tapos siningit niya pa, sinegway niya pa na yung Pogo daw kasi inaano ng mga media na si Tatay Diggs ang punot dulo ng Pogo sa Pilipinas. Kaya segue itong babaeng to na sabi niya, ayaw nga pala yung yung nagano sa Pogo. Okay, nagkamali ka na doon. No? Ngayong parang dinidikdik nitong babae na to na hindi attorney yung kausap niya kaya pwede siyang magmarunong. Alam mo ate, hindi ka uubra sa amin. Alam namin yung pasimple pa to na ipapamukha niya sa mga viewers niya na si Sir Belhica ay hindi po attorney para magmukhang mas magaling itong babaeng to. Ate, wala kang maloloko. Kung papanoorin niyo po ang video ng mga kaibigan, mas marami pa po ang dislike kesa sa like. Ibig sabihin, alam po ng taong bayan kung gaano kabayas at gaano kapangit ang ugali at kabastos yung reporter na to mga kaibigan. No? Tuloy natin mga kaibigan.
Anyway, sir, first things first, I'm sure nakinig po kayo, you listened to the whole part 1 and part 2 of today's confirmation of charges hearing. What do you think so far?
Nakakalungkot dahil listening to the hearing, bakit doon ginagawa? All those hearings could have been done here. In fact,
Correct.
more of the truth could have been taken up if it was done here. For example po, the ICC, after the revelations of the Marines, we learned that the witnesses was spoon-fed by Senator Trillanes na ginamitan pa ng corruption money. So, paano mo makakuha talaga yung side kung it was politically motivated and politically influenced? Number 2, ano ang pagkakataon ng ICC malaman kung ano talaga naging sitwasyon dito sa Pilipinas pre-2016 before President Duterte came. So, ang ganda po sana nung idea na malitis, I have nothing against being charged, a case being filed, pero bakit doon where it's so hard to fare the truth? And all the questions that were being asked and how the hearing was being conducted can all be done here. Bigyan ko kayong concrete example, ma'am. I remember bigla na yung kaso mismo, similar case ni President Ferdinand Marcos Sr., EJK 3,200 deaths, sabi po, ang allegations was 30,000. 35,000 survivors ng torture and 70,000 incarcerated. And these were all politically motivated, mga political dissenters. Na-solve po lahat dito. In fact, gumawa pa ang Pilipinas ng batas para mabayaran yung 11,000 victims na nirecognize na nakuha from the 10 billion pesos na na-recover. Comparing it to the case of President Duterte, 6,000 death na officially na inadmit, 160,000 na pinakulong. Bakit yung kay Marcos na resolve naman dito, nabayaran pa, yung kay Duterte nandun sa ICC? And in fact, recent history tells us na the Philippines is capable of handling high-profile cases as it did. It sent to jail two presidents, President Arroyo and President Estrada. It sent to jail 4 senators, Senator Bong Revilla, nakakulong na naman, Senator Estrada, and Senator Juan Ponce Enrile, house arrest, and Senator De Lima. So ang point, the Philippines justice system is slow, but it is working. So yun lang po ang aking pananaw doon, na nakakalungkot at the same time na bakit natin isinurrender ang ating soberenya bilang isang bansa. So now the Philippines is ganito na ba tayo ngayon, na we are now ruled and governed by another set of law, even by a court that is not even a state by itself and we're no longer member of. Yun lang po.
Okay, there's a lot to unpack there. First of all, the thing that you were saying, that former Senator Sonny Trillanes spoon-fed the witnesses and paid them with corruption money, that hasn't been proven. By the way, that's just an allegation. I just want to make that clear. Pangalawa, 6,000 deaths is still 6,000 deaths, sir. That is still a
Yeah.
lot. Kahit na i-compare mo pa po sa ibang periods of time.
Kahit isa nga lang, ma'am.
Yes, exactly.
Ito na yun.
Yes, correct.
At ang sinasabi ko lang po, ang kaso ni Ferdinand Marcos Sr. is similar to the case of President Duterte that was tried here.
Okay, but
Ayun lang po ang point ko doon. Ibig sabihin, sana dito na lang. Ngayon, kay Sonny Trillanes, ang point ko lang po doon, there are allegations
This-
that Sonny Trillanes received 100 million pesos and spoon-fed the witnesses.
Yes.
Yun nga po so how will the ICC treat that now?
so those
Yun nga
are
po, if it was here,
Yeah.
then mas malinaw. Pwede mong patawag si
Those-
Sonny, pwede mong patawag yung mga gwardya, yung
Tama.
mga
Tama naman
yun
po.
lang po ang point ko. Kaya sana dito ginawa.
right, but those are mere allegations which former Senator Trillanes has denied. Now,
Ma'am,
about your
teka lang,
question,
you're defending kasi Trillanes.
no, I'm just
Kaso
saying,
ni-
I'm just saying, iba yung allegations
Sana
of facts.
sana si Trillanes ang nagsabi nun eh.
Yeah.
You're interviewing
No, we have
Para
interviewed him.
maging patas.
We
Para
have-
maging patas.
we have
yung kay
interviewed him.
President Duterte, allegations din yun eh.
Okay,
So dapat i-try
there,
dito. That's the point.
that's allegations with proof as collected by the human rights organizations. Pero wait lang. Let me move on to the
Kasi,
next
no,
point.
you brought it there.
Hoy, ate wait lang. Ako naman na mag-wait sa'yo ngayon. Let me remind you, isa ka pong reporter, ate Hindi ka prosecutor. At hindi ka, ini-interview mo ang isang tao. Pag ini-interview mo, mga kaibigan, simpleng, simpleng kaalaman. Kapag po kayo po ba ini-interview nyo ang isang tao, bakit nyo po ini-interview ang isang tao? Kasi gusto nyong malaman kung ano yung masasabi niya sa isang bagay. Halimbawa, tinanong mo siya, ano ang gusto mo, ano ang paborito mong ulam? Kaya mo tinatanong yung isang tao kasi kaya mo siya ini-interview, may gusto kang malaman mula sa panig niya. May gusto kang malaman na anong opinion niya tungkol dito. Ngayon, itong babaeng to, itong bastos na reporter na to, hindi naman interview ang ginagawa mo, ate. Ang interview, kapag i-interview ka, hayaan mo ang interviewer mo na magsalita. You will not interfere with his answers, nor, anong tawag dito, yung ginagawa ng babae, kumbaga ini-spoon feed niya rin yung answers dito kay Sir Belhica eh. Gusto niya yung mga sagot niya, yun yung masunod. Eh di sana nagano ka na lang ate, nag-declamation ka na lang dyan, o kaya ginaya mo si Auntie Claire at nag-press briefing ka na lang, ikaw na lang mismo ang nagsalita. Ba't ka pa nag-invite ng isang guest Tapos, hindi mo din naman papatapusin kung anong gusto niya sabihin. Anong klaseng interviewer to babaeng to? Alam mo ate, if you remind, if naalala niyo mga kaibigan, actually month ago na yata yun eh. Last month yata may kinover din tayong interview din, pero kay Senator Marcoleta. Kaya nakatikim ng tong mga interviewer ng channel na to. Iisang network lang yan mga kaibigan. Itong network na to, pati yung network na nag-interview dun kay Senator Marcoleta na nakatikim ng kay Senator Marcoleta, pamamahiya, nasa isang network po sila. Kaya itong network na to mga kaibigan, hindi ko nababanggitin, panigurado makikita niya naman kung saan galing itong interview na to halatang bias at anti-Duterte ang network na to. Ngayon alam naman natin na dapat ang isang network kaya nga kayo nasuscrutinize kaya nga kayo pinaparinggan ni Atty. Kaufman dyan sa kanyang defense statement sa ICC hearing na the mainstream media, hindi siya they're changing the narrative sa kanilang gusto, sa kanilang benepisyo. Pinapalitan nila yung daloy ng kwento base sa gusto nilang maging effect o gusto nilang maging ending. Kaya tamang-tama si Atty. Kaufman na yung mga media talaga talaga sila masyado bini-brainwash nila yung mga netizens, na nagsuscroll dyan sa kanilang mga cellphone o nanonood ng mga balita sa kanilang TV kung ano yung gusto nilang maparating sa kanila. Hindi naman ang dapat nga, ang news puro facts lang, puro information at datos lang. Ang dami kong gustong sabihin pero tatagal tayo mga kaibigan. Patuloy muna natin itong sinasabi ni Sir Belina.
Now, let me move on to the next point. Ferdinand Marcos Sr. was in power 1965 to 1986. May ICC, may International Criminal Court na back then, but the Philippines didn't ratify the Rome Statute until August
Wait
30, 20...
Madam, ang ICC po na-found. Ito isa-search ko. Pero alam ko, 2002, na-found po ang ICC. Search natin when was ICC founded? Ito the international, sabi ng AI ito the International Criminal Court was established on July 1, 2002, which is the date the Roman Statute entered into force. While the treaty was adopted on July 17, 1998, it required a ratification by 60 nations to officially establish the court as a permanent institution for prosecuting genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. Madam, re-remind lang kita, una-una po ang ICC po ay natatag noong 2002 at ito po ay 1998 nag-start na yung pag-aano ng mga 60 pag-iipon-ipon ng 60 nations para matatag nga itong ICC na to. 2002, 1998. At madam, yung sinasabi mo kanina balikan natin para marinig niyo siya.
But the Philippines didn't ratify the Rome Statute until August 30, 2011. So that answers your question why Ferdinand Marcos Sr. wasn't brought to the Hague. Because
alam mo ate, simpleng search lang sa Google o kaya sa kahit saang AI na gamitin nyo, yung simpleng pagsasearch ng tamang, fake news tong si ate fake news yan mga kaibigan, fake news yan. Kasi simple lang naman, mag-search ka lang kailan na itatag ang ICC, hindi yung nag-feeling marunong ka, hindi mo naman pala alam kung ano yung tama. Ituloy na lang natin mga kaibigan.
ICC, may International Criminal Court na back then, but the Philippines didn't ratify the Rome Statute until August 30, 2011. So that answers your question why Ferdinand Marcos Sr. wasn't brought to the Hague, because we weren't part of the ICC
the
then.
Philippines is capable of handling the very reason na ginagamit po ng mga nagpadala sa kanya sa Hague.
But
Ay, wala
during
lang po
his
siya tagang
time,
Pilipino. Ma'am, I thought it was an interview. Why are you asking for the opposition?
no, I'm not asking for
Yun
the
lang sa akin,
opposition.
yung mga points ko, I don't know, dapat, bakit ba't kayo sumasagot
Hindi
for
naman.
them?
Yeah, I'm not answering for them. I just
I'm
want to
not.
be clear what
Actually, you are protecting them. Ikaw ang naging spokesperson nila, ate. Ito madam. Ikaw ang naging spokesperson nila. Pinagtanggol mo si Trillanes, kesyo allegation kuno, kesyo ganyan. Ba't hindi na lang kayo nagdebate? Ba't ginawa nyo pang interview? Pwede naman kayo magkipagdebate na lang. Tuloy natin mga kaibigan.
I don't know, dapat, ba't kayo sumasagot
Hindi naman.
for them?
Yeah, I'm not answering for them. I just want to be clear what's an allegation and what are facts. And to answer your question about the Rome Statute, we didn't ratify it until August 30, 2011. But let's bring it back to today's confirmation of charges hearing. So my question to you wasn't about the jurisdiction. It was about what you thought of Attorney Nicholas
what I
Kaufman's
thought.
defense.
That's what I thought, ma'am. I thought that all the questions and all the hearing and how it was going could have been done here. Yun din ang proseso, it was here. So I have no problems I have no problem with the president being charged and for investigation. Tama po yun kung yung mga nagreklamo. What I'm just saying is, sana dito na lang para nasa korte natin at mas ma-fair out natin ang katotohanan dahil nandito lahat ng katotohanan eh. Alam po ba ninyo ma'am, maybe I don't know if you know this, but before 2016, ang sabi po, ang official reports ng PIDEA po mismo 92% of all barangays in the NCR are drug affected. Number two, that all 100% of all heinous crimes committed are drug related. Number three, na nung pre-2016, mga police officials, police generals, politicians, media, what else, judges, were all part of the drug syndicate. Kaya po lumawak ng ganyan. So, does the ICC know that? And nung panahon po na yon, hindi naman kaila kahit kanino, nakakatakot naman po talaga maglakad-lakad sa labas dahil sa nababalitaan natin na patayan at krimen na nangyayari that were all drug-related. That was the reason na kaya nagkaroon ng drug war na kinoy ng media or yung pagpapatupad ng mahigpit sa batas. So, now, yun lang po.
Actually, in addition to that, no, mga kaibigan, ang gusto lang sabihin dito ni Sir Veljica, pinapamuka ng administrasyon ni Bangag. Kasi aminin na natin ang administrasyon ni Bangag ang nagpadala kay Tatay Diggs dyan sa The Hague. Pinapamuka ng administrasyon ni Bangag na incompetent po ang justice system ng Pilipinas, na wala pong kakayahan ang judiciary branch ng Pilipinas na litisin si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Pinapamuka po ni Bangag na wala po tayong mga competent na abogado sa Pilipinas. Pinapamukha niya po na ang mga prosecutors natin, ang mga hukom po natin ay hindi competent. Yan po ang gustong iparating ni Bangag the moment na pinadala niya sa The Hague sa ICC si Tatay Diggs. At mga kaibigan, kung titingnan nyo rin bakit gustong ipadala at bakit gusto nilang gawin sa ibang bansa ang paglilitis ni Tatay Diggs ay dahil kapag dito po yung ginawa, mga kaibigan, maraming tao ang magwewelga, ang mga supporters si Tatay Diggs maglalabasan yan, makikita ng taong bayan na si Tatay Diggs po ginawa niya lang po ang nararapat para sa ating bansa. Na siya, ginawa niya po lahat ng war on drugs na yan, kesyo ganito, kesyo ganyan, lahat po yan ay para sa mamamayang Pilipino. Hindi naman po para sa kanya yan. Hindi naman po niya ginusto na magkaroon ng mga taong napapaslang dahil po nalululong sa droga. Hindi niya po kagustuhan na mamatay ang mga yon. Ang kagustuhan niya lamang ay kapayapaan at seguridad ng bawat Pilipino sa ating bansa. Yun lamang po, mga kaibigan. Kaya hindi ko alam kung ano po ang pilit na idinidikdik ng media at ng mga tao na galit dito kay Tatay Digong dito sa mga kaso niya sa ICC. When in fact, he just did his part as the leader of the Philippines to give the Filipinos the security and the reassurance that they have, that they need, that they must have in their everyday lives. Yun lang naman, di ba, mga kaibigan? O, ipagpatuloy natin.
No, it's okay. I was letting you continue. Baka sabihin mo, I'm not interviewing you. But specifically
Bastos
about
talaga tong babae.
the strategy of Attorney Kaufman today, what did you think? Again, it's not about the jurisdiction, but he made some, today, he mostly focused on discrediting what they call the causal nexus, yung connection, the direct link between the speeches of President Duterte to the killings on the ground. What did you think of that strategy?
I think that is the right strategy to take dahil you are finding and they're trying to find the direct link of President Duterte against the alleged state-sponsored killing. Ang point, there was no state-sponsored killing. Ang mga nagpatayan po noon are those gangsters and police officials that were all involved in drugs. They started to clean up their mess. The president, even kahit po yung official na program, na drug program ng Pilipinas, during that time was called Oplan Tokhang. Tokhang, yung kausapin, yung katukin, kausapin. Oplan Double Barrel. It was actually the media who coined the drug war. Na yun po ang pinag-uusapan sa ICC ngayon. But then, yun po. So, si Kaufman was explaining it that way, that the explanations were, hyperbole. Hindi siya hyperbole, hindi siya, ito patayin mo. Na yun ang sinasabi naman po ng kalaban. So, I think he explained it quite well. I hope he could have explained it better. But then, yeah, he did explain it correctly.
But bakit naman he could have explained it better? What part specifically did you want him to explain better?
Sa akin lang po, the way he was explaining it, parang he did not give the complete story kasi hindi naman nila ramdam yung how it was here. When, gaya po ako I know the streets. And when I hear those words, I understand those words quite clearly. Na ingat kayo dahil you'll get in trouble. So it stopped a lot of people who were already in drugs, who were already pushing, who were already kahit pa small time pasali-sali. Yung fear na they might get in trouble, they might get picked up, really stop a lot of people from getting to drugs. And that kept the streets safe.
Oh, they might get picked up or they might get killed as well, di ba? There was a real fear back
Posible
then.
po yun.
Oh.
Yes, but the gangsters, the drug lords and the drug addicts and the policemen who were involved knew exactly what it meant. And that stopped them. That did the job. Pero yung para i-convict ka na ikaw ang nagpapatay, iba po kasi yung elements nun . It has to really be direct. But the order was not that. He was talking about, example, yung pag naglaban. So it was really self-defense.
Okay.
Pero I don't think the Europeans would understand it that way. Yun lang. I think if it was a Filipino judge, may intindihan yun. Like, hindi naman lahat ng tao rito, mas maraming mahirap. Diba? Hindi naman lahat ng tao mayaman.
The judges are, well, only one of them is European, by the way, the presiding judge. Judge Julia Antonella Motok. But anyways, we'll leave that there. We've run out of time. But thank you so much for joining us today and giving your perspective. Former PACC, hindi na PAOK, PACC Chairman Greco Bellica. Salamat, sir.
God bless.